Good evening, AOBE members, BISD employees, and Brownsville. This is Veronica Borrego, your AOBE president. Right next to me, I have Miss Ida. Good evening, Miss Ida.
Hi.
And then here we have our special Miss Nelda, our special guest. Hi, Miss Nelda. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing well. How's everybody?
Doing well. I had a very stressful day. I had my T-test observation today, so that's always.
So they did your observation today. Was it virtual?
Yeah,
it's virtual, right? So how did that go, if you don't mind me asking?
I mean, it's always nerve-wracking and always, sweating, and like my lunch was kind of like, just freaking out.
Did you have? I'm wondering. So, did you have like any issues, any glitches that went wrong that you would have hoped it wouldn't have happened?
I was kind of afraid that was going to happen. Like that technology was not going to be my friend today. But actually, my technology, when I was without a hitch, just like a student coming in a little bit late or whatever, but nothing as far as like the technology goes. Thank God, no, everything was good. But as a teacher, you're going to be observed for 45 minutes, and that causes anxiety, no matter how many years you've been in the classroom. And so I haven't been sleeping for a couple of weeks, trying to prepare and practice and whatever, and meet on Google Meets with some of my teacher friends and have them critique what I'm doing. And, so you try to do your best and you give it all you have, but it's very nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I can imagine, because you're very structured, and you always like to prepare, ahead. And so I can imagine how stressful this is on you when there's so many things that can go wrong being virtual. And but I'm glad that you got that over with. And usually your campus, how quick do you get your feedback?
It doesn't usually take too long. I'm sure I'm gonna be a little nervous until I do actually sit down and sit with my principal and have like my conference with her. But I think I'm gonna sleep a little bit better tonight, because I did it. They gave us up to I don't know when it was, but I was like, I just want to get it over with. Like, I don't want to let it. Like, let's just do it as soon as I can, just to get, like, that's just one less thing for me to have to be stressing about, so.
Yeah, and I think that's something that I wish that Dr. Trevino and top administration would realize. What's the stress that goes on the teachers for this T-test walkthroughs that they're doing, especially now that what we're dealing with. And I've had the conversation with Dr. Trevino about that, because so many are so stressed and even getting sick over this. And she's like, I really think she doesn't get it of what it is that you guys are going through with this, because she's like, that's not what it's about. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be mimicking her, but she was saying that that's not what it's about, that this is a tool to help the teachers be able to learn and grow. But I really, and I could be wrong, but you guys let me know. I think that's not how it's being used. A lot of the teachers feel it is a got you tool that is being used, that it's being used as. So, the amount of stress that I hear that the teachers are going through because of this, because they have their observation coming up and stuff like that. It's just ridiculous and stuff. But I'm glad you got yours over with. But
yeah, I'm glad I got it over with. I have not had the experience at my campus with the administrator that I've had for almost going on 7 years. I have not had a conference with her after a T-test observation or my 45-minute observation that has been a gotcha. Thank God. They're always very, again, I'm the type of person that if you give me constructive criticism, I'm going to take that and I'm going to use it to better myself. And so I have not had that experience, thank God. But I also am of the personality that if you see a flaw and it's going to make me a better teacher, please tell me, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So um
But I
it's
think
but
también,
again, it's always, it's really nerve-wracking. Like it's
but I think also it's the relationship that you have with your administrator. Not everybody is as fortunate as you are to have a good relationship with their administration, and to be able to have that conversation, and you don't feel that it's being held over you as a threatening tool, that they're going to have that little thing in their pocket of, hey, you did this wrong and whatever, and don't make me put this into your t-test and
right.
stuff like that. And so that's great that you do have that, but I know that's not the case in some of the campuses and stuff.
No, yeah.
So, but like I said, I'm glad it worked out for you and you have that behind you. And now you can only worry about the other 200 things on your plate as a teacher.
Yes, which is now, like, I haven't been really doing a lot of my reading academy because I've been focused on art paperwork and been focused on getting my lesson plan, my lesson ready for today.
Yeah.
Because I created my lesson from scratch on Nearpod. So it that takes up a lot of time, especially when you're like me, who is kind of mediocre where technology is concerned. And
Mm-hmm.
so it just kind of, like, it took me a while to mess with it and play with it. And even then, like, when I was doing my during my lesson, I was like, oh, I could have done something, I could have done this would have been better, this would have been, but I
Yeah.
mean, that's how we work now. I know that what I did today, I can fix for next week when I go over whatever they didn't learn or whatever they're struggling with. I can change it for next week and target whatever
Absolutely.
it is that they're struggling with. Yeah, so
Well, good for you. Good.
yeah.
And Nelda, how was your day? I know
My day was
you
really
sat on a
good.
committee.
Yes, the teacher incentive allotment, the TIA. I
Mm.
believe it's for cohort D. I'm part of that committee and been kind of listening to what's going on. A lot of administrators discussing how they're going to use for cohort D, what form of evaluation, what's the plan, what's the system, and of course it's looks like it's heavily on t-tests, domains. I think what did they tell me, 2 and 3, or was it 3 and no 2 and 3 is like a mandatory, you have to use those. But the discussion today was and it was kind of interesting because a lot of administrators were kind of, yeah, let's use domain 4 also, because I don't think you have to when it comes to this particular grant or whatever it's called. It's an allotment from, and this comes from the state. And I did a little personal research. I started reviewing what the legislatures had intended. It is, hey, we're going to give some extra money because we really want to see kids do better. And we want to reward those teachers that are really doing a little more. And I just asked, what about domain 1? Domain 1 is where you need to know your subject and you need to plan effectively. And as a former teacher, I know that I would spend a lot of time learning how to teach my subject area. I still have books here from, how to be a better reading teacher, how to reach a student who has this kind of difficulties in reading. And all of those Pinterest teachers and teachers pay teachers, and you do all this research and read articles, and why doesn't that count? That's going beyond and it's out of the classroom, but it's directly for the classroom. So that
Yeah.
was just a comment I had made. Also, which activity is better? Is it that activity or this activity? How are you going to be more effective with the population you have? That takes time to set it up. Like you were saying, that was part of your formal evaluation. And they were receptive, and I thought they were very polite and kind. The everybody in the committee was at least trying to do, to me it sounds like they're trying to get a good plan for the cohort that they're starting, and they are trying to learn from the other cohorts that have already come, that are already established. And I did learn that once you come up with a plan, it can be changed. And
Oh,
all of,
really?
yeah, it can be adjusted, but all of this goes through, and I found it kind of interesting. It goes to Texas Tech. They're the like approving which plan, yeah, we'll accept this plan versus that plan. I could be wrong, but that was what I was understanding. And I mean, I'll take criticism and correction on that. But from what I heard in the meeting, and I was listening, um, I wish I don't have access to all of the BISD platform like they do. So I always have to put all my little comments or chats on the side, and I don't know how, like you, I don't know exactly all of it, but I really appreciate the group being very receptive and kind and listening to an outsider, because now I'm technically an outsider, but I did, um, I think it's really, really important that domain one is so immediate impact on the kids. If you, for example, if you do you read an article tonight about math or whatever subject you're going to teach, you're going to go and implement some of that and try it tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
That's immediate impact.
Hmm.
Those and teachers who do that, they should be rewarded. I know I'm always shouting out. I love my grandson's first grade teacher from Paredes, Michelle. I think she's amazing because she does. I've seen her doing beyond trying to reach the students that she was working with, and so shout out to her. And yeah, AOB in the house. I'm there to take notes and try to speak up for the educators. And
We're so
I did
we're
also,
we
real quick, I did tell them it didn't matter if they were an art teacher, a band teacher, choir teacher, PE teacher. Everybody has to have a good, effective lesson plan to meet the students' needs. So
Yep.
reading teachers, math teachers, it's for everybody. Anyway, the committee will decide a little bit later. I'm sorry, I did go on.
No, and we're so glad to have you there on that committee, helping us, representing and being a voice for AOBE. We do plan to ask our membership who wants to be on the AOBE Teacher Incentive Allotment Committee, so they can kind of give you the input and different. So it's important to always get the different perspectives that are out there, and so you'll be taking back the issues and concerns from our members and being able to voice that. And we're just very lucky because we know you do so much research. That is just something that you're amazing at. And you're able to look up all of that. And, I love that you're looking to see where they have this in other districts, what has been successful, what has gone wrong in those districts. So you're able to provide that input as well. So that anybody out there that's listening, we are going to send out a survey, and it will have that question on there of which committees you're willing to volunteer on, and to be able to provide input. And the teacher incentive allotment is going to be one, because this is something that the district is planning on moving forward with, and it's important to see what is the input. How do you all feel about it? We've had something similar in the past, and it can create a very hostile environment
Yes.
at the campus. And so we're hoping that this is not something that's going to happen again. We don't believe in incentive pay, because of the issues that it can create. So, what is your input on that, Nelda? On what you've seen so far? How do you think that this one, the TIA, is going to be different, and it will not create that environment that it created before?
Well,
Before you respond to that,
sorry.
when you were in the meeting, did you understand that next year this is going to be implemented across the district for every teacher, or are they going to be picking a group of teachers?
Okay, so I've heard it. They really want everybody to have the opportunity, but the reality is, if you don't strive for that little extra, you're gonna select yourself out, is what I'm understanding, and rightly so. Because the idea is to reward teachers that are doing the little bit more, as far as, and I get it. What I did not like, I was part of a campus that was receiving lots of money with the governor's award back in 2005-ish, 6-ish. Oh my gosh, and it was such a unified campus, and then it just kind of, you could feel the tension with people who were friends and they weren't friends anymore, and that's just ugly. It's ugly.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you still work with them day in, day out, and that took time, because everybody feels they're trying to do the right thing for kids.
Yeah.
But what I honestly, I have a cousin who works in the Austin area, and she went years ago. She's already had it for a while. The national certification. She went and got herself nationally certified. Anybody who has that right now, you're gonna qualify. You're already like that much ahead. And to be quite honest, if anybody has the national certification, because you can either get it by whatever BISD's criteria is, or by whatever, having the national certification. They're working on that. They're tweaking it to see how it really works. That getting that national certification isn't an easy thing to do, but at least you already know what the criteria is, and you go for it and you get it, and
Yeah.
you're already there. Um, what I do, I'm not a fan of t-tests at all. In fact, I don't like, I never liked that form of evaluation. It just doesn't seem right, because it's so subjective. You look at the different domains and they say, if do you see it all the time? Do you see it this and that? And wouldn't you know that the one time they walk into my room, it's not the all. Dag nabbit. That's not cool, because most of the time it's there, whatever that there is. And come on, man, it just doesn't seem fair at all. But it is what it is. But at least as a teacher, if you studied what the t-test says in domains 2 and 3, you already know that's where they're going to get the bulk of it.
Yeah.
They're discussing to use 4, which I'm saying administration likes 4, and that's those people who volunteer and do the extra for the campus. Which is
yeah, that's already being told to people, though. There's already teachers that are being told that.
Yeah,
and that they're not doing the Saturday Academy, it's going to be counting against their t-test.
It's not supposed to. See, that's what I don't like. Why do they say it's counting against? It's just not counting for. It's never against. It should not be an against thing. It's just not counting for. Because if I did Saturday Academy, okay, yay, Miss Rocha did Saturday Academy. If to count for my t-test. But Miss Rocha can't go because they don't know my drama and trauma at home. Maybe I have to go and take care of something or somebody.
Absolutely.
But my thing is, it shouldn't count against. It just isn't going to count for. The other thing I don't like about the t-test is everybody's going to have their 45 formal evaluation. I don't think that's right either. I mean, and I did toss it out. My last year of teaching, I knew it was my last year of teaching, but I had to do my 45-minute formal evaluation. And the criteria for having your formal is you have to request the waiver. Well, I wasn't granted the waiver because the administration wanted me to have it. No, that's not true. I turned it in a little bit late because I was in L packing at the time. But the year before that, it was the same drama. You have you have to have been at the campus for more than 3 years. Okay, check. Your administrator can't be a new administrator. Check. So you technically you qualify, but if the administrator says, "Hey, we want you all to do it so you can qualify for it," but hey, I'm retiring. It doesn't matter if I jump through the hoops, do the domains. I know I'm not going to get any money out of it. I'm still going to be the excellent person that I am, the best I can be, as far as my teaching. I'm not going to deny kids, but I don't need to go, you know, do Saturday Academy. I don't need to do tutorial, this, that, and the other. Domain 1 and 2, 4, 5, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And they're saying no, everybody's going to have to do the formal. And
Wow.
which
They're saying
I
there's
don't,
no waiver. There's no waivers.
that was the one negative that I'm like, eso no me gustó at all, because you just don't know teacher situations. You really just don't. And I feel that, come on, man, if the teachers have earned the right to request the formal, to the waiver, give it to them. Now, if the administrator really has a need or concern about something, address it. Hello, that's the job. Because
Yeah.
they owe it to the students. They owe it to the students to do the right thing.
But now but what is different with this incentive allotment from before? How
Ah,
is this how is this not going to create that hostile environment that last one did?
do you mean the
How
governors?
are yes.
Okay.
And maybe talk just real briefly, because then we're going to go into the rotation schedule, and we're going to talk about the issues with that and how everybody's doing with that. So we definitely need to hear the concerns on that. But it's important to discuss how people feel about this TIA stuff. So how is this going to be different from the previous one that created that hostile environment between their colleagues, and especially when we're at a time when you got to be able to depend on your colleagues more than ever. We got to have that team player mentality and atmosphere going on right now. So that's a big concern.
I did hear, when you break up the amount of money, apparently a mandatory, I didn't know this, I learned, a mandatory 10% of whatever the amount is has to go to the district. They're getting money there. And then they had to work out a percentage goes to the teacher who earns, and then we're discussing maybe a percentage to the support people, like you were saying, that helped that teacher get to where they were, to earn it. So that might be a help. If you don't necessarily earn it all yourself, you might be able to get some via being a support to your colleagues. I wasn't really clear on that. I'm paying attention, trying to understand a little bit more, and there's more clarification coming. But I do not see that 100% that there won't be some kind of hostility, difference of opinion. Hey, I did more than that person did. I think there will always be a little bit of contentiousness. The one thing I do see is they are going to have to say, hey, if you do A, B, and C, you have the potential to get the money. Versus, I heard about A, B, and C after the fact. We did all this stuff. Oh, you didn't miss any days. Oh, you had 80% of your students pass I think it was tax at the time, or you had 90% of your students pass the tax. Yay, you get this amount of money. And Sister B over there got more money because she did tutorials 5 days a week, versus me only twice. Whatever it was. And where this went, the governors are ground. I remember I missed one day and I got nothing.
Wow.
I got nothing because I missed a day. Had a sick kid. What are you gonna do? But that's
Yeah.
that was
And that's
that
the
was
thing,
covered.
though, and that's the issue with incentive pay, that it starts to get away from what that individual teacher is doing, because each teacher, it's not a cookie cutter format that they're following on this. Everybody has to do what is best for their children, their students, their needs, and things like that. And
Right.
if it goes against what is required to, you're either going to start to try to rack up this extra money, or do what's best for your kids. And that is something that I want to see. How are they going to avoid that? Because it's going to go there. It is,
Yes.
especially right now in a time of need with this pandemic and stuff. But, hey, we're going to have a strong voice on that committee. Nelda's going to do an amazing job. And so we encourage anybody who wants to serve on that committee, be looking out for another survey from us, because we got to get your input. Your voice is very important here with us, and we need to know how you feel on these things, because we're ready to represent for you guys, and we're ready to address issues, but we're not mind readers. So that's the only way that we're going to be able to figure out what's going on out there. So, but thank you so much, Nelda, on that.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And
Thank you for the opportunity to serve.
oh, yes, of course. So Vero, do you want to, I don't know, maybe go over some of the comments, and then we can go into the schedule, the rotation schedule at BISD? Oh.
Yeah.
How many teachers have died from COVID in the last 2 weeks? I know of 2. Yes, unfortunately, we know of 2 as well. That was a big hit for the Brownsville family. So, our prayers for the family and everything that they're going through. We know several other relatives of employees that have been lost due to COVID. This is still very serious, and we need to continue to all do our part. We're continuing to push and fight for increased safety measures at the workplace. We're continuing to stay on top of that, guys, but we need to also do our part. I think what I've seen out there is what they refer to as that COVID fatigue, where you start to, you're tired. You're tired of being home. You're tired of not socializing and all these different things, of not being able to go out and go shopping, and people are going out there, so we need to stop and ask ourselves, do I really need to go there? Do all of us have to go there to go buy groceries and things like that? Every little thing helps to reduce that unnecessary exposure. We're trying to get that clear to the district administration, and going different routes about it. And but we also need to do our own part with our extra time, at home, and encourage others to social distance, to be safe, and things like that, because this isn't over. I don't want people to think, because the vaccine is rolling out very, very slowly, that we're in the clear now. I mean, my gosh. So, but yes, it's unfortunate. We know of these 2 teachers that were lost, and our thoughts and prayers go out to the family on that. But let's just continue to do what we can, guys. We're not in the clear, and who knows how long it'll take. But do be assured that we will continue to push for safety first. Out of everything, yes, all these other things are important and stuff like that. But if you're not safe, and if you're not healthy and alive, you're not going to be able to do any walkthroughs. You're not going to get any TIA. You're not going to get any of these other things, guys. So that's why to us, safety is always first because of this pandemic and stuff. So we will continue to advocate for you guys on that.
Good evening,
Eve.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Evening.
Mr. Rocha, I had mine Tuesday. Picked a class that was the most active. They let me down.
Oh, no, he's talking about his walkthrough when Vero was talking about hers. Why are the fees so expensive? Our fees, I'm assuming you're referring to our fees. They are more expensive than the other associations, but I hate to tell you, but you get what you pay for. We're very active at the local, state, and national level. We have a lot of campaigns that impact our educators. We have a lot of services that we provide for our members, and you basically get what you pay for. So how important is it to protect your job? How important is it for you to have your voice? How important is it for it to actually be your voice and not the voice of somebody just at the top that thinks this is what is best for you all? That is what is very important. We don't represent our majority, my own, us three here, or just our board. No, we represent the majority of what our membership gives us as input. So we're always going to represent the majority of their input. So, so you get what you pay for. So, it takes a lot to be able to do all the different events that we do, campaigns that we do, and we do everything in mind with making it a better working environment for you. So that's what it is that we do on that.
Good evening, Ms. Garza.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, Patty.
Yes, that will happen. Separation. Yes.
That's what we're worried about.
Yeah. Good evening, Ms. Cantu.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello.
Hello,
Hi,
Ms. Lupita. The board should be having an emergency meeting to address the fact that teachers are dying.
Yes. Absolutely. Every day I think they need to continue to stay on top of all of these things, the numbers, and stay connected with the frontline employees. Our teachers, our employees are scared, all employees. So, they're just handling it differently. But it is continuing to cause a lot of anxiety. And but we're hoping that we're pushing for a shutdown, in the sense of a 2-week shutdown for like what San Benito is doing, where everybody went 100% virtual to see if the numbers can kind of calm down a little. I personally think it's people got too comfortable because they started seeing that the vaccines are rolling out. But if you look at the numbers, it's still a very low percentage that has been vaccinated. So, we're far from being in the clear with that. So I really think, in my opinion, that if we go back to 100% virtual to help bring this down, it'll make a big difference. But we did get a big step in the right direction with the rotation schedule, but we're going to cover that and see how what is the input from you guys.
I'm going to read because I have some of the messages on my feed from Manny. Hello, Ida, Vero, and Nelda. And then
Manny.
From Ms. Gonzalez. What is the point of T-test? They don't give us a raise or anything, so I stopped worrying about it a long time ago. Then they want to evaluate us with one evaluation. Many teachers don't care to be part of that incentive. We need to worry about safety.
I agree with Manny. I mean, I'm so grateful to God that I don't have to be there doing what y'all are having to do. My heart is breaking for all of you having to go through this. My my retirement time just hit at the best time, but T-test has taken away, the real joy. I've always one evaluation, and it's very subjective because one administrator walks in and sees this, that, and the other. The another administrator comes in and sees it a little bit different. I mean, yes, there's a rubric and you're supposed to follow it, but
It's perspective.
it's a perspective and they're not all seeing it the same way, and that's not fair to the teacher. It's just not fair.
Absolutely.
AD goes to make sure super and board members for all BISD, not only members. Goes to make sure.
Yeah. And
I'm not sure.
I forgot on what I was going to say on that one. Sorry.
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 That would be great. 100% virtual. 5 teachers have COVID now. I'm sure she's referring to just at her campus, but we have a lot of campuses that right now are with severe outbreaks of COVID. So it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
And the concerning thing is you just don't know how people are going to react to it. Some people do, they have mild symptoms and, have a little struggle. And then there's others that just don't make it. It's just not a fair disease.
It's very scary, and it's just what I've been seeing. Once you get it into a certain place, a certain household, it starts to spread like crazy. And we've had it on some of my family's households, and it's been very difficult because it's gone from one person to the other to the next. Actually 3 at a time. They live next to each other, so they're a very close family, and it's been very difficult and very stressful on everybody else. So it impacts where all those people go to work, the kids where they're going to school. So, it's so easily spread. And what's weird is some of them are asymptomatic. Some of them have symptoms. So it's very different, but they've obviously given it to each other because it's, within the same households. And, but it's so difficult to control. As much as you try to quarantine, you kind of can't. It's the same household. I mean, where do you send them to? So that's why I just, it's very difficult, but we just need to continue to try to do the best that we can. And we want to see the input on the rotation schedule. I'm so interested in to see what those conversations are going to be like and see what they think.
I've had more walkthroughs this school year than my previous 23 years combined.
Isn't that crazy? And one of the things that we've been pushing for is some leniency and empathy for these teachers. Oh, I'm already going to go there so early. But it's so upsetting. I mean, how can they continue to request this same number, or if not even more, walkthroughs when these teachers are holding on by a very thin thread? And really, I mean, come on.
It's probably because all you have to do is turn on the screen and flip on a switch and they're right. Oh, they're supposed to be right there. So let's catch them. It's a gotcha.
Yeah. Oh, but it's a tool. It's a learning tool.
Negative. Good evening, ladies. I am taking my second dose of the COVID vaccine next Friday.
Yay!
Should employees work from home after the dose to watch for any side effects, or should my doctor give me an excuse to stay home?
Check with your immediate supervisor. I did ask on that specific question that people are having different reactions to the vaccines. So check with your administrator so you can work remotely. Okay. You're supposed to be able to, I believe you're able to, you've been set up to work remotely before. So that way you don't have to take a personal day. I encourage everybody to try to save as many of their COVID days, their personal leave and everything. Try to save them because we don't know what is up ahead. But if you go and you take your vaccine, let your immediate supervisor know, hey, I'm taking it my second dose on this one. They've said that there's higher side effects on it. I had these side effects with the first one. I just want to be prepared to be able to work remotely after my second dose. So that way you have God willing, it should be maybe just a day or two of side effects. And those vary. So
Yeah.
hopefully they'll be minor, but do check with your immediate supervisor. Send it in email format, please.
Miss Lupita agrees with Rocky. Sometimes twice in a week, not very often though.
Wow.
Me too. 2 to 3 walkthroughs, too much stress. I was assigned to one of the 6th grade teams, 3 teachers on Monday and Tuesday, the other 3 on Wednesday and Thursday. 2 to 3 walkthroughs in one day.
What the heck?
Miss Juarez, my goodness.
Wow, you need to contact us. Ms. Juarez, please reach out to us. If they're doing that many walkthroughs per day, we've got a serious problem on that. So that's something that we can look into. So please contact us on that.
I agree with Miss Lupita.
It's a tool and a weapon.
A tool for them to weaponize the teacher.
Yep.
Not to help them.
Hello, beautiful ladies. All of you, such a breath of fresh air. I called you this week.
Sorry.
A 7th teacher was assigned to come on Monday and Wednesday. Oh, I guess that's for the rotation that they have going for their class.
Okay.
Thank you for your response. Okay, Miss Ida, go.
Okay. So really quick though, I do have a message also over here saying, hold on, still no PPE uniforms to properly sanitize infected areas. So please do let us know that. We are making notes of the different areas, the different campuses that they're having shortage of PPE. That is going to go out on the survey that's going to go out hopefully tomorrow. So please put that input in there. It's very important that we do get that from you guys. I know right now, I feel I'm very concerned for the custodians. They're having to be going from different campuses to different campus to help out with the shortage of staff. So my main concern is the campus that they're going to. Do they have the proper PPE? Because more than likely, the reason they're going to that campus is because there was some type of outbreak and they're short-staffed. So if you are reporting to a campus and they are not providing you with the proper PPE, that is a very, very, very big violation on the district's part. Okay. So we do have to make it clear though, when they give you a directive to go to a campus, to go, even though it's not your assigned campus, you receive that directive. It's very important. You cannot deny going. You cannot deny that directive because you can get written up for insubordination. So, but if you get to that campus and they are not providing you with the proper equipment for you to be able to do that job, then it's a whole different issue. Okay. So with that is where we need to know right away. Call our office, let us know, hey, this is urgent. They sent me to campus so-and-so, and I don't have proper PPE. So we do not want you to be put at risk just because the district is not doing their part. So please, it is very important, custodians, maintenance, and stuff like that. If they're sending you to fill in the different areas, and also for food service, okay? Because I know they're sending food service people to different campuses because of the outbreaks. You need to be able to have everything that you need to be able to do your job safely. Okay. So if you do not, please send a call our office and say it's an urgent issue, so we can step in right away and we can notify them on that. I know we've had some campuses where that was going on, and they did take immediate action to correct that. So please do let us know on that. So so other than that, we're going to go into the rotation schedule that was sent out, and we just want to have a conversation on that. So it's important to get your input on that. Oh, and then I've just been told that the questionnaire is going to be in Spanish too. I'm sorry, is this the survey that you're talking about on this message that I just received, that the survey is going to be in Spanish too? I believe that's what they're referring to, the one that we're going to send out. So that's why it is important that we get the input from everyone on this. So on the rotation schedule, like I said, it was a step in the right direction. We've been screaming since day one. It was not necessary to have everybody on campus because, you know, you're exposing a lot more people than necessary. We've always said it, you know, from day one. If you have a building with 90 employees, but if 70 of those employees can work remotely, let those 70 employees work remotely so the other 20 can work safely if they have to work from the workplace. So this rotation schedule went a step in the right direction. But of course, because of the vague memo that was sent out, it left a lot of room for interpretation, and there was some issues that came out at the beginning. Not every campus was putting every employee on the rotation schedule. So that was addressed, and it was addressed because first of all, it's not fair. Everybody had to go onto this schedule. We cannot be leaving certain people out because you're not the favorite, because you don't, you're not, you know, friendly with the principal or administration or whatever the case might be. This is for everybody, okay? And that is the issue that we have with when this superintendent sends out this memo and leaves it, you know, leaves too much room for so many different interpretations of it, because you got to keep in mind, not everybody thinks exactly the same. So you're going to have 54 people interpreting it. Whoa, you made me bigger. No, that was really not necessary, but okay. But so those, it's going to have 54 different interpretations of how I think this rotation schedule should work. Now, we're not saying micromanaging is the best way, because not every campus is going to have the exact same thing to be able to follow for it to be effective for them. But we could have set some guidelines and for your elementary campuses, for your middle school campuses, and for your high school campuses, okay? For your self-contained grades, for, you know, whatever it is that you have, that could have been set up, okay? And so we encountered some issues, like I said, that certain teachers were being left out because they weren't in the group, or they weren't with the favorite group because, you know, they're not with the cool kids, or whatever the case might be. But, you know, it was addressed. We had some conversations with some of the board members. We believe in giving credit where credit is due. Daniela Lopez Valdez did hear out our very long issues and concerns, individual concerns and issues, and she did get a lot of them addressed. We had individual issues, we had campus issues on these things, and it's a good thing that they were resolved because it did help out those campuses. But we do want to hear from the rest of y'all out there. It is important that you share with us what you guys are seeing as far as the rotation schedule. Has everybody been given that opportunity to be put on this rotation schedule? Now, yes, every campus is going to have it a little bit different, but bottom line is you're supposed to be able to rotate, okay? And I'm sure you guys are already, have heard the whole thing of how it works, but, bottom line is that you do not have to be there Monday through Friday. The rest of the days, it is to work virtually. It's not days off, guys, okay? But it's to work virtually, okay? One of the things about this rotation schedule, one of the purposes of it is to also give you that flexibility. If there is vaccinations available to you, you can work that into your schedule. As you all might have seen one time, one of our members, Tanya Carrion, which is a classroom teacher, camped out all night so she can be able to get in line and receive her voucher for her vaccine. So she ended up taking a half a day, or I believe the first day she took a half a day to stand to be parked in line for it, and slept there all night, and then the next day got her voucher and I believe got her vaccine at the same time. I don't know exactly the details of it, but now you will have that capability of working remotely if you have to do this, if you have to stand in line, okay? So, or go park in line, and you're able to teach remotely, okay? You're supposed to be able to have a good working relationship and flexibility with your immediate supervisor to be able to, they can work with you if you have this availability for the vaccine, and they're supposed to be able to work with you for that. Of course, guys, there's going to have to be documentation provided, okay? You can't just say, I'm going to go for the vaccine and, I went 5 times because they kept, whatever the case might be. You have to provide documentation for it. So that's why this rotation schedule, it's supposed to help for that. But also the main purpose was to reduce the number of people at the campus workplace. Okay.
Therefore, reducing exposure.
Yes. So you minimize the exposure. So, we want your feedback, see what y'all think, what's going on. Have you been provided that opportunity? Have you been denied that opportunity? Please let it know. Let us know. I'm sorry.
The rotation, we decided not to rotate the students. My group stays with me all day. Less exposure, we figured.
Okay, Rocky. So then you're going to be going Monday through Friday. Is that how it's going to go, since you're not rotating your students? Or I'm just curious on that. Let us know how that's going to go.
I know.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Well, I know a little bit. I don't know it. I don't know his whole schedule, but I do know that.
Let us clarify. Rocky is Nelda's husband.
Yes, he is. He is my better half. I do know that he discussed with his team of teachers on the days that he is there, they stay with that group, whatever group they had. So that way it's the same group that whole day. So the next time he's there, I don't know this part, if he has the same group of kids all the time that he's on the days that he's there. So that's what they meant. In other words, half of the grade level goes on the certain days, and then the other half goes on the other days, and that's what they mean by, but they stay with whatever group of kids they had that day.
I
think that's what he's talking about.
Okay, Rocky, so he's not going though Monday through Friday. Is that correct?
Oh, well, I'll let him explain that.
Okay.
he,
Yeah,
he
Rocky.
like he likes to teach. He likes to go to campus and be on campus. He tends to be able to get more things done. However, he works in a portable.
Yeah.
All he really has to do is be outside, away from everybody. He doesn't have to be inside the building or exposed to anybody else.
That
At least
is
that's my
correct.
understanding. I mean, I'm not there, but
Okay.
I,
Oh,
that's just his ability to do it.
no. I go on Wednesday and Thursday. The group with me those days decide not to rotate kids. Yes, I have the same kids both days. Okay, so he's going on. Now, he can go to campus, but he will not be put into the rotation because there is some teachers that are saying, I want to be on campus because of the equipment there, or, whatever the case might be, they want to be on campus, but they do not have to be into that rotation or be with those kids. They can go virtual with those kids those other days that they don't have to be there, but they do have the option to be on campus if they want.
Right. That's what I understood.
Okay.
How
On the Yeah, on the custodians first, like I said, these plans are getting tweaked as they go because the superintendent insists on sending out the memos like that a un golpe without proper input from everyone. So that's where he ends up having to tweak here, left and right. Oh, Nelda has a question.
I do. Can I say what I asked? Or I have a real problem with this whole thing.
Uh-huh.
And so thank you for the platform. I'm going to use it. I think they've taken advantage of site-based decision making. I know that it came out in Texas in 1992, and then in 2010 it was tweaked again. But though every decision in the school district is supposed to be done through site-based decision making and all this other stuff, but like when we were having a discussion with some of the board members, my thought is site-based decision making was supposed to be about student achievement, the academic part. So everybody gets together to collaborate to come up with the best way to have student success. Now I know a schedule is important and it's valuable, but if we really had that site-based decision, that means fall could start at 7:45 and Vistato could start at 9 o'clock. They can just say, well, this is what's best for us, right? This whole rotation thing is an employment problem. It's an employment situation. That's where administration needs to take the reins and run with it. And I mean the upper administration, because you can't have, like you said, 54 different schedules?
Yep.
54.
Yeah.
This is about the employees. This isn't about the student academic situation. I mean, I could be wrong, but it just does not make sense, and it does not seem like it's doing what's right for kids. Because at the end of the day, we're all here, everybody's here for the betterment of our community's children. That's why this whole thing's supposed to be about them, their academic success. And if you treat the employees good, if the classroom teachers are getting what they need, you're going to see greater success. But if you have a hostile work environment, you have dysfunction and discord, you're going to have issues, and then it translates into academics.
Absolutely. And can you all hear me? I'm sorry.
yes.
Okay. I completely do believe in proper SBDM, that being the key word, because it's not properly done at all places. But in this memo, the superintendent did say that the campuses were going to have autonomy of the details. Okay, so there's different things with trying to give them autonomy of these decisions, and then or trying to wash your hands and say, well, I didn't tell them to do that. That was completely on them. Okay, yes, they do need some autonomy, to be able to decide what is best for their campus or department, but they also need to have certain guidelines that are going to be equitable across the board. Okay. It is not fair for certain employees to have to be having different guidelines or requirements just because their immediate supervisor doesn't empathize with what they're going through at this time. Okay. So it has to be the same up to a certain point. And that's why we had the issues with this. Okay. One of the things that we're pushing for is these administrator meetings have to be done virtually, where everybody is able to view these meetings that are, where the superintendent is discussing these items with the principals. Okay. And again, this is not a got you tool. No, it's transparency, true transparency. So we're all on the same page and we're all able to get that same message. Okay. So it's not that, I want to throw it in my principal's face that no, that's not what he said. Mm-hmm. No, it's so we can all be on the same page, guys. And, you have less, error for misinterpretation of how this is supposed to be rolled out. And because it's impossible for one person to catch every single thing at this administrator meeting. Okay. So that is why we have been pushing and pushing for these meetings to go virtually, like the school board meetings are done. Okay. This would help to clarify so much for everyone. Yes, so we are going to continue to push hard on that one, because that way it would have been very clear that because the other issue that we saw, besides that some people were being left out of the rotation schedule, the other issue we saw is that the class size that was being made. So I'm interested for Rocky to give also input on that. It cannot be more than 10 students. There's some principals that are going above and beyond and saying, you know what, I'm capping it at 5. The class size is going to be 5, and I'm building my rotation schedule on that. Okay. So we just want to make sure that there isn't anyone out there with more than 10 at a time for class size for this rotation schedule. Okay. So please let us know on that as well, if there's any issues with that. That is very important because it's going to defeat the purpose of it. So now, I did see a message, Vero, that said something about this rotation schedule is going to be the worst or something like that. I'm interested on a little bit more input on that. What is it that Mr. DJF, please, what do you mean on that? What's the situation that you're encountering that is making it worse for you? Okay. It's important that we get your perspective on this and your input.
How about special education classes? We can't get rotation schedule if parents don't agree.
Okay.
Does that mean, is that saying that if a special ed parent doesn't want their kids to be on any kind of a rotation, then that kid can't be on a rotation?
I'm understanding it as the teacher can't get the rotation.
Oh, okay. Because it has to be.
It shouldn't be up to the parent. It's coming from the superintendent, and the schedule has to be figured out by the campus.
Oh, yeah. Well, if there's 5 days in the week and she has 5 kids, she's going to have to be there all the week because she's going to have to do one day, one the other day, or something, right? Or he. Okay, I get you. All right, thank you.
Okay, that's something. Belen, messages, Belen, a little bit more input so we can get you an answer. If we need to get you an individual answer on that. So to our understanding, the special ed is not being put into a rotation unless the parent gives consent.
That's
I just need
kind of how I understand it. But
okay.
I mean, I think we need more clarification on that. Hi, Mr. Elizondo.
Hi there.
Stranger. Our grade level can't do rotation because we have too many face-to-face students.
Okay. Again, a little bit more information. Also, what is your campus, and what has your immediate supervisor said about that? Because some campuses are bringing in substitute, or they're pulling in people from different areas. Okay, so tell me a little bit more. What is your campus, and so we can definitely look into that.
Several of my students, this is from Belen. Several of my students are coming face-to-face, and we all need to go to work and can't rotate.
Okay. Belen, message us your campus, because if, like I said, if they need to bring in extra staff, subs, or whatever the case, so you guys are able to do a rotation, then you have to. So you can private message us the name of your campus, and that way we have that information. So if your campus needs to bring in additional staff, subs, or whatever the case might be, it needs to be done.
That goes along with what I was trying to say. You know, everybody's an employee of the Brownsville Independent School District, not some one particular administrator or another. They're the only one signing the checks is from the main office. Everybody's an employee.
Yep. It just made it our fault.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out what that comment was in reference to. Ms. Chavez, if you don't mind clarifying, because I'm a little bit behind on the messages. Eva Barbosa, wish the rotation days would have been back-to-back and not Tuesday and Thursday or Wednesday and Friday, but won't complain. Belen, how can special education teachers rotate if several students are face-to-face and we need to go? Yesterday I had 4, today I had 5. That's from Mr. Rocha.
Okay.
It is 10 in the classroom, including staff plus students in the classroom.
Okay.
Is that the limit? That's what she's referring to, right?
Yes, 10.
Our principal let each grade level come up with their rotation schedule, which worked out great. My colleague and I divided the 18 days, so we will each stay home for 9 days and on campus 9 days. Our paras were also included with our rotation. So that's what happened at my campus.
Awesome.
I was paired because I'm a resource teacher, so I was paired up with the other resource teacher, and we figured out our schedule, what worked for us, and she's doing 9 days and I'm doing 9 days. And so it worked out great for us. Unfortunately, we don't have a paraprofessional right now to include in our rotation schedule, but had we had one, we would have included them as well. So yeah,
Okay.
That's what happened at my campus too, Ms. Villarreal. I asked about how or what is the rotation. I thought the admins would come up with a schedule to start on the 27th, but no clear answer, only that it works with upper grades and not lower grades. So no rotation schedule going on my campus.
Let me know your campus, please.
See, that's not fair. That
Yeah.
once again, that's not fair. This
Why-
person is an employee of the district, not just one administrator gets to make this kind of call. Why do campus A, B, C, D are getting so many days this way, that way, in a safety thing? I get really annoyed at this. It's not
Absolutely.
fair.
If
Sorry.
a teacher doesn't have face-to-face students, do they have no? From what was said today, or what was clarified today, if a teacher does not have a student face-to-face, they should be working from home.
They do not have to go into the rotation schedule. They do have the option if they want to be working from the workplace, because there is some that are wanting to go over there because of the equipment or technology issues or whatever the case might be. But if you don't have face-to-face, you do not have to be put into the rotation schedule.
Correct. Let me read a comment from the other Facebook feed I have over here. Some campuses are using special program teachers like librarians, music, art, and coaches. This is fair. This helps for those grade levels that have a lot of face-to-face. Some didn't like the idea, but we are all employees. We all need to help. And that's I agree with that. If you have, let's say, pre-K that has in each classroom already 9 kids per classroom, and you're trying to get a rotation working, well, then you can bring in the music teacher or whoever and be put on rotation. I know we at our campus are also using uh, classified staff to try to help fill in the gaps, in where they are still able to do their job. They are just there to monitor, and the teacher is performing the instruction through the computer. They're just the body in the classroom. So we have to figure out how to help each other. We have to figure out how to make it fair and make it work. We're
Well, if
supposed to
that's
be,
the case,
you know?
I'm sorry.
No,
If that's the case, why don't they bring office staff from the main office? They're certified educators. Just a thought.
And a good one.
Was the campus supposed to come up with the rotation schedule, or were teachers expected to do so? So it's been different at every campus. There has been campuses where the teachers were given the option to create the schedule with their specific grade level, or they were put into groups. For example, like I mentioned right now, music, choir, music, library, PE, and all of that to help with the rotations. And then there was campuses where the principals were the ones that were making the schedule. So it just kind of depends. And again, like Ida mentioned earlier, it's because there was really no clear guidance as to how it was supposed to be done. Like the memo could have said, allow for grade levels to create rotation schedules, or something that would had a little bit more guidance. It's very broad and leaves it open for them to do whatever it is that they want. We have also it was reported right now that Garden Park is not doing rotations at all.
Oh, see, not cool.
So,
Quick
I
question.
mean, this,
What about lunch? Are teachers and everybody getting their 30-minute duty-free lunch? Or do they have to stay with their kids in the classroom? I'm just curious. And what about, do they get their professional planning?
so
Time?
see, that's why it works out when you do within your grade level, you have the same planning period.
Right.
So when you're sending the kids to PE, if you're covering for the other second grade teacher and you guys are doing the rotation together, they're still going to go to PE. See what I'm saying? They're all second grade goes to PE at the same time. So
yeah, but
you're still
the PE,
but
the PE coach ends up with more kids, doesn't? I mean,
no, because there's still PE days for the kids.
Yeah, but what I mean by PE, I mean the face to face. If I'm the PE coach and I'm getting 2 classes of PE and each of them have 5, fine, it's my 10 limit, right? But what if each teacher had 6? Now the PE coach has 12. I'm just asking because I don't know.
Right. So what happens is, for example, in elementary school, when you have a campus that has 4 teachers per grade level, there's a day that they have music, and there's a day that they have library, and then they have 3 days of PE. And so what happens is they rotate through that. So let's say you're rotation A and I'm rotation B, right? But you and I came together. On Monday, your class has music, but my class has PE. Well, I'm the body in the classroom. So when I'm sending them out to music and PE, because it's at the same time, I'm going to send yours to music and the others to PE. So that's not going to change. But I'm still getting my planning, and you're still getting your planning virtually.
Okay.
If you are not, please let us know, guys.
That's how it should be.
Yeah. If you are not at your campus, because that's at her campus, and her principal has a great working relationship and communication with her staff. So that works out great, and it benefits everybody on the campus. But if it's not working that way at your campus and they are not allowing you your duty-free lunch, or they're not allowing you your planning period, please let us know. Okay, so that's very important.
At my campus, there are 5 of us in my grade level. We have 20 plus face-to-face students, so we each take one day to work from home and distribute the students evenly. We each have 5 to 6 on any given day.
Awesome. Awesome.
Veronica, your rotation is awesome. Yeah, I have been blessed in that through this pandemic, there has been a lot of cooperation and compassion from the administration at my campus level, and so we were able to create our own rotation schedule. And of course, you do have some teachers that opted to stay on campus and different things like that, and so that's fine because it's our option, right? It's the opportunity is still afforded to whoever wants that. But yeah, so I'm also lucky that I work with my coworker is amazing, and so we get along very well. We have good communication, and so it was very easy to make our schedule. We made it within maybe like 15-20 minutes, and it was just more like I have arts this day, I'd rather be on campus this day. Like that's pretty much how we were like kind of figuring it out, and then we were good with it and we sent it. So I'm blessed in that I have that. I understand that that doesn't happen for all at all campuses or in all grade levels, and so that's kind of hard for some people. But if there would have been more clear guidance from the memo, it wouldn't matter if you got along or not. It would still be guidance, So
that's what you get when he's trying to give autonomy to the campuses, or wash his hands. Sorry.
Yeah. My campus also allowed us to choose the days we wanted as our rotation days. We did it as department grade level. It worked out great. See, so this is what I want to hear. Like, I feel like that should have been part of the guidance in the memo. Allow for the grade levels to work together because it only makes sense. We have the same planning time. We have the same lunch periods. It only makes sense. It only makes sense.
And you have to keep in mind that not every principal has the same experience, and or communication with their campus. Especially some of your newer principals are not going to have that communication with their employees as well as an experienced one, or one that has been there quite some time at that same campus. So in a way, it's not fair. We cannot punish the staff of a campus who has a newer or less experienced principal, and it's nothing bad against that principal. We're here to help in all situations and all areas. But that is why some guidelines should have been given. And then they could have moved from within those guidelines to make it work for their campus. So, but I'm going to ask if you all can send a text message, and it'll be anonymous, guys. But you can send a text message to this number that I'm going to give out. If you have not been put on a rotation schedule, I want your campus name, please. And if your class size is over 10. But if you have not been put on the rotation schedule, please tell me why they've told you that they are not putting you on a rotation schedule. Because I understand some of y'all probably might not want to put it here on the message. So this is going to go directly to our office cell phone. So you can text it to 956-631. Wait, no. Giving the wrong one, right? Is it 621-3011? Okay, again, that is 956-621-3011. And you can text it to tell me that info, okay? Because if your campus is not doing this, please let us know. we need to know if you're not, and why did they tell you they couldn't put you on? If it's because, oh, there's too many students or whatever, so we can look into that situation and see what needs to be done at your campus. So please do text that info to me, okay? Really would appreciate that.
Lily Casares, no one is thinking about the kids. So much moving around, inconsistent. All this is not good for our kids coming in face to face. There is no way to make this fair for everyone. I halfway agree with this. The reason that I say that is because in making the decision for our rotation, me specifically with my coworker, we did not want to be doing one day her, one day me, or 2 days her, 2 days me. We wanted it to be consistent. Therefore, she's doing 9 days and then I'm doing 9 days. A lot of our teachers in making their rotation made the priority consistency as much as possible for the kids. Now, if we want to say that nobody is thinking about the kids, who sent out the memo? Just wondering.
Yeah. And it is impossible to have all the everybody completely happy with this. It's going to affect or impact some or the other, but what we have to do is try to see, for the most part, what is the safest way we can go about this with what we are having to deal with. We have certain guidelines that are given by TEA. They're not all the exact guidelines that Dr. Gutierrez claims that have to be followed, but we do know there is certain guidelines that do have to be followed. And with that, we're trying to do the best with this. Is it going to be difficult on some of the students? Yes, but that is on a campus by campus basis, because there's some that it's working out a whole lot better for them. Mm-hmm. And if you keep the employees safe, they'll be able to be there and keep the students safe. So, it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to guarantee that there's not going to be an outbreak, but it will lessen that chance of there being more outbreaks.
And that goes back to this. All this is not good for our kids. If we're reducing exposure, I feel like that's a plus for everybody involved, including the kids, because there has been already deaths in children that have been recent, healthy children, not children with any underlying issues. So I think it may not be a plus in the academic area, but right now we're in a pandemic. We need to be worrying more about saving lives. I'm sorry. We're still teaching. We haven't stopped teaching.
Mm-hmm.
And when we're doing our rotation, we're still teaching. That's not going to stop. But we just need to worry about safety. We have too many students, so we are not able to follow a rotation schedule, which is unfortunate. Michelle, please text the phone number. I put it in the chat, guys, so you all can text to that phone number. My grade level also has too many face-to-face, so while others get to rotate, our grade level got left out. Carmen Zuniga. Oh, Miss Zuniga. I don't get to see her anymore at church. Hey, Marisa. Oh, I lost my way. What about the aides from BI? So the rotation schedule is supposed to include aides, custodians, office staff. It's supposed to include everybody, even administration at the campus level. That's what I understood through the clarification. Am I correct, Ida?
That is correct. They should be included in the rotation there. Now, at the beginning, maintenance and custodial were not included on there. And I believe I saw the comment about how is a custodian going to do their work virtually. They cannot. But right now, what they're dealing with, even though that custodians cannot work virtually and maintenance cannot, right now, because of the increase of the numbers of the positive cases, we are trying to reduce that risk of exposure and try to get more people vaccinated if they choose to do that. So right now, yes, they will they're getting a day off, but you're considered to still be on call if needed. But because that's the only way that they can be put on the rotation, and we had to ask and push hard for that as well, so they did not get excluded from it. Okay, so our point is, hey, we got to give everybody that opportunity to hopefully get vaccinated if they choose to. You have the right to not be, but hopefully, we get a higher number vaccinated. And then with that is the only way, if we were able to put them on a rotation schedule. Okay.
Some teachers on my campus do not get their planning period on this rotation schedule. They have kids all day during each class period.
Oscar, please message me at that number, the 621-3011. Please message me. I need to know what campus that is, because it is very important. You guys have no idea how much we're fighting to be able to take things off that are not necessary, to take it off of the table of the teachers that have the classroom setting and things like that. So it is very important that you guys get your planning period. One of the things that we saw that was starting to creep up was the data wall falling back on the teachers. That was something that we pushed for really hard last year, that the teachers not be responsible for updating that data wall. And that is getting addressed. So again, you need to let us know. Please message me which campus that is not giving you your planning period.
Michelle Cortez, we were told that there's no cap on how many students a teacher could have in a class, so that's why we voted not to have a rotation schedule.
Oh my goodness, Michelle, no. Please text me your campus, but let me know, because I am receiving several messages. But let me know what the issue is, okay? Because the messages that I'm seeing here on the screen are different. Because I'm getting some that says my campus is so and so. Okay, I need to know what's going on at your specific campus. Okay, so put it on the text message that you're going to send. You did not, because what could be being done there is that's how they're creating their documentation to say, hey, my campus chose to vote out of participating in the rotation schedule. No, there is a cap. The cap is 10. Okay, so let me know on your individual situation, guys. It is very important, because that will get addressed.
Gloria Gomez, need clarification. Is there a limit of 10 people, including teachers, per room? Are we out of compliance if there are more than 10?
No, 10 students. It's 10 students
not
plus.
Including the adults.
That is correct, not including the adults.
Okay. Emily Foltz. Hello, ladies. I'm retired, but what is happening to my former colleagues is distressing and hurtful. All I can do is pray. Ida, are you a teacher as well? Thank you for all that you are doing for our community.
No, thank you so much, Emily. I am a full-time AOBE TSTA staff person. So I have the availability to be able to communicate with school administration on the issues throughout the day. So because we are the largest association, it requires that in order to be able to stay on top of all these issues and things like that. I mean, it's been since this pandemic started an all-time high amount of issues, and we're addressing and trying to correct as many as we can, and that's what we do. But no, I am not a full-time teacher. Ms. Veronica Borrego who is our president, and so she works throughout the day, and with all her extracurricular activities, plus is a mom, and her son is in several activities, but is president of the association. So she handles association business after work. So her days are very, very long. And Ms. Nelda is also helping us out, and she is a retired teacher. So yep. That is good, because she is available to me during the day.
Tanya,
hey,
our students are still getting their instruction from their own teachers. Yes, They connect in their iPads or laptops. The only thing that changes is who takes them to PE and cafeteria, and that is fact. My coworker teaches reading resource, and I teach math resource. So when her kids come into my room, headphones are on, and she's giving them instruction. I'm just the adult in the classroom, making sure that if they get kicked out or whatever, they need help, I'm the body that's there to help. Otherwise, I don't teach them that. I still have my math class. So my grade level declined the rotation schedule for our well-being and safety. We do not want to be exposed to more students / families that we don't even know.
As long as that's what you guys voted for, but and as long as you guys declined the rotation schedule on, and everybody was given the opportunity to vote on it. Okay. So, like the other one that mentioned about that there was a cap, there was no cap, and that's why they decided not to vote for it. That would be wrong. Okay. Mm-hmm. You need to be given all the information, and you guys have the right to vote on it and decline it. If it doesn't work for you guys, say, hey, then that is fine.
I agree with Vero. My daughter also needs her mother because I am all she has. We are also going, and times the students show up when they get up. Not fair. Veronica, you do have the best administration, Dr. Melinda Lopez. Yeah, she's my dean. I love her. She's the best. And I can say that having a good relationship with your administration is not something that comes overnight. It takes time. It takes communication. It takes patience on both sides. It takes understanding and compassion. And so, yeah, I am happy to say that I have good communication with my administration at school. Not only are they there for me, but I'm there for them in whatever capacity they need me. And even to help or advise if they ask, because all my administration are members. So I'm also their president for their teachers association. So I'm happy to say that. And it's good to be able to work in a place where I work with amazing co-workers and I have a strong administration team. So I really am blessed.
What is your campus?
Whiteria Elementary. Yeah, I work at Ituria Elementary. I've been there almost 17 years. I lose count. 16 years, I think. Miss Barbosa, so if I am having my vaccine next Friday on the day of my rotation, am I supposed to be allowed to go get the vaccine during my working hours? That's what I understood. They're supposed to work with you.
You need to, if you're getting your vaccine next Friday, go ahead and let your rotation group or your immediate supervisor know, so adjustments can be made as necessary, because that was one of the purposes of the rotation schedule. So you don't lose out on your days, and you're going to work remotely while you go get in line for your vaccine and stuff. You set up whatever instruction needs to be done or assignments, so that can all be done. Okay, so contact your immediate supervisor. We did ask that specific question.
Yes. Ms. Ramirez, my principal is awesome. She is doing great for us. As teachers, we only think about our students, but we sure are not the parents, so we're not. Thanks for everything you do. Thank you, Ms. Ramirez.
Awesome. What campus is she at?
What campus are you at, Ms. Ramirez? And that's the thing, Ms. Ida. We have a lot of administrators that are really good. Mm-hmm. Even without clear guidance, they're doing the best that they can, and they're doing the best to work with their teachers and make it fair. I mean, we can't say that for every campus, obviously, because we get the calls, right? But you have your principals that are thinking about their staff and are thinking about their campus and are thinking about their students, and they want the reduction of people because they themselves are being exposed on a daily basis to all these people too. So, absolutely. I mean, even without clear guidance, you still have those administrators that are doing the best that they can.
Yes.
You have to give them a pat on the back for that. You have to, give them a shout out. She's at Lopez.
Oh, okay.
I think it's also important to remember everybody needs to just be kind, be patient. This is affecting everybody. But if administrators are at least sensitive enough to try to figure it out, what is this employee having, what issues going on, how can I address it? At least, but I know that there's some administrators, they shoot from the hip, they react, and they haven't taken the time. I was very blessed in my career to work with a lot of very kind people. I didn't always agree with everything, and they didn't always agree with me, but at least you could try to talk to them and work things out. And then there's always some that just doesn't work out. But point is, a majority of people working for BISD, that everybody's trying to do the right thing. A majority of people are trying to do the right thing. And if there can just be some compassion for everybody around. I've heard of some new employees. Can you imagine first time employees working on this rotation thing? What? They're barely learning the acronyms that go in this business. So they needed more guidance than just, okay, everybody go on a rotation. There was a little more concern for that. Or what about the support staff? Are they also included on those rotations? The counselors, the librarians, the nurses? I mean, we discussed the custodians, the instructional aides. I just, all of those are part of the work that is BISD, and everybody is supposed to be doing what's right for a kid in a classroom. So it's a lot of working parts.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of working parts, and again, I'm going to say, administrators at the campus level are doing the best they can with what they're being given, and sometimes they take a lot of
absolutely
bleep for because they're the messengers. And I like I said, I've been at Ituria for almost 17 years, and I've had almost 5, I think 4 or 5 administrators, and all of them have been great. And they, you have to see that and understand that sometimes it's not coming from them, and in some cases it is, like, that's why we're asking for you guys to text us. But sometimes, like, they brought us the memo, and even themselves, I think, weren't really sure how to bring it to us, because they knew there was going to be questions that they had probably asked that weren't answered. And so, we have to kind of be a little bit compassionate with them too, knowing that they're just the messengers. They're just the messengers bringing us the whatever comes. I mean, it's not, it's not always them.
Yeah, the decisions that are being made from higher up and stuff. So yeah, I think I've made it clear several times. I don't blame the directors. I don't blame the principals. I blame the person at the very top that makes these decisions and signs those vague memos that go out. And that's why it's important to get proper input before you send out these, crazy, vague memos that can end up causing chaos. But, we're glad on these tweaks that are being made, and they're going to continue to have to tweak it until, it gets better for these employees. This is very serious issues that we're dealing with. This, as we have unfortunately seen, it is a life and death situation, and we need to do all we can to make it as safe as possible. There is no guarantees, but hey, let's just try to make it as safe as possible.
Yeah. What does the district say about face-to-face students during this rotation period?
What do you mean? What do they say about? I don't. Try to explain a little bit more on what do you mean. They want the students to be face to face. And I'll be honest, I think if Dr. Gutierrez had his way, he would have more people face to face. But I don't know exactly what you might be referring to, Ms. Gomez. Are we supposed to use our sick days when we go get our vaccine? No, this is what is supposed to help you to be able to go get your vaccine. Okay. If it doesn't work at all with your schedule, then okay. If you have to absolutely use your personal days, but try to work it into the rotation schedule. If you know a certain day that you've been scheduled to go get the vaccine, let your immediate supervisor know, your rotation team, let them know so it can be worked in there. Okay, that's the purpose of this, to try to get as many people vaccinated, because that will hopefully, God willing, in the long run, help decrease these numbers.
Which is the goal for all of us. I retired from Lopez and agree 100%. Lopez Principal Dalia Aguilar is the best. I love hearing that stuff. And then there's always going to be the one person that's not happy, but even the best principal like Dalia Aguilar still had to pass out that memo.
Yep. Yep, she did. So wow. So that's it. We're gone through the whole. Okay. Well, wow, that went quick. We're almost coming up on 2 hours.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and wrap it up. And again, if you guys need to send me your individual information from the issues that are going on at your campuses, please text it again to that number, the 621-3011. And this last message, what about the vaccines that the superintendent got? Oh, yes, that is an interesting topic. The district got 150 vouchers that are supposed to go to people who are 65 and older. I do have one employee who meets those qualifications, signed up and everything, and was told that the 150 vouchers were already gone. So that is something that I'm going to look into to see who it was distributed to, and did they completely follow those guidelines, because I was not aware that there was that many employees, over 150 employees that are over 65. So I'm really hoping that they did follow those guidelines, because it's, not that I would be completely surprised, but it's really sad. Don't put it out there that it was going to be for 65 and over employees, and that's not who you handed it out to. So
not only that, what about, let's say there were 66, 65 or over. You have 151, 65 or older. Who decides which one gets
exactly
out? Wow.
Exactly. Because this person did sign up when that initial list was sent out.
Which was a long time ago.
I wonder if DEIC had to decide. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm very interested to find out how they found out about that, because why was this person excluded? And that's not right.
Let's get a list of employees, no names, just location, please, for all of us to know. Some of us waiting in lines for tomorrow. So let me tell you something, Ms. Reyes. Can you put in a public request for public record as to what happened to those vaccines? However, what has been happening is that the district is kicking everything to the Attorney General, and that takes months. So if we submit now, we may get an answer in 2023.
Yes. And because there's a timeline that needs to be followed. And I will say, they haven't kicked everything. I have received some of them. Okay. But the majority of the public information requests are being submitted to the Attorney General. They do that just to buy time, delay it, and hopefully the issue will get, has passed already by the time the Attorney General response and says yes or no, you do have to give this information to them. So that's what she's referring to, that a lot of our public information requests will get sent out there. And, we just have to wait for the Attorney General to respond and say, yes, you do give them this information. No, you don't. We have gotten some that Attorney General does side with us, but yet BISD does not give out the information. So that's really sad on that. But we are going to be asking those questions, and we're going to be asking the questions to the school board members as to what guidelines were followed to decide which 150 people were going to get those vouchers. So I think it is important, because with something like that, we can't be playing favorites or politics. Yep. But then, of course, we know what we're dealing with. But we'll see, and we will let you know.
Ladies, thank you for being advocates and the voice for your members. Thank you, Ms. Garcia.
Always.
You're welcome, Ms. Reyes. You're welcome.
You're welcome. So, well, it was a great show. I do want to sincerely thank every single person who has contributed with any way that they can to let their voices be heard, for the messages they sent here, for the emails, the text messages that they have sent out to the school board members, different people, to try to bring about some positive change on this. We're still dealing with a very difficult time. We're all going through one type of obstacle or another. So I encourage you guys to please stay strong, hang in there, and let's try to help one another to get through this hard time. Try to make it a goal to check up on at least one person, a colleague, a friend, and just to see how they're doing. And maybe you'll come in at the right time to give them that hope to know that we're going to get through this together. So we will continue to fight. We will for you. We continue to advocate for you, but we can only do that if we hear from you. It's important to get your input. So our members, we will be sending out that survey. Please provide your input on that. We need to make sure that you are being given every opportunity to be safe. We need to make sure that guidelines are being followed, that you're given proper PPE. And, we don't read your mind, guys. We're only going to be able to help you on the issues that you express to us. So again, thank you so much for everybody who takes the time and has the courage to be able to speak up and let us know the issues that are going on at your campus. So we really do appreciate that.
Yes, Ms. Nelda, do you have anything you want to say?
No, I'm just praying for everybody, and I agree with everything that Ida said. I mean, we're all in this together in different capacities. And thank you, ladies, for letting me be a part and to help if I can. I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you for jumping in to help us. We really appreciate it. And I just want to thank everybody for sticking around for the hour and 47 minutes. We're trying to get as much information and clarification as we can to make sure that you guys get correct and factual information. And just know that AOBE is going to be here to be your voice until you're ready to use your voice. And so, keep calling us, keep giving us information. And we look forward to seeing you next week, guys. Stay safe. Good night.